Hey guys, welcome back. So this is part 2, the plants that I am currently struggling to keep alive, let alone happy. Let's get into it. Another beautiful day. So as you can tell, it is a new day. It is actually daytime right now. And I'm here with you to go over and show you guys some things that I'm just not very proud of. Plants that I'm really struggling with and just kind of over at this point. So let's get into it. We're gonna start off with this plant, which I talked about in my Alocasia care video. Now, you guys may have seen a big, giant, beautiful Alocasia amazonica in my morning routine video. And that plant is over there. It's doing wonderful, but it is a newer addition. So this is the original plant, and I've had this guy for like 5 months, I think. And I've struggled with it ever since I got it. When I received it, it had several leaves, like pretty good sized leaves, I would say. And first of all, I put it in a really, really crappy potting soil. And I also put it in a very tiny terracotta pot. And the soil was just very compact. And it was basically like a bunch of rocks instead of soil. And I wasn't watering it like I should be. I wasn't giving it as much light as it needed, I don't think. And so it just kept dropping leaves on me. Every time I let it dry out, it would drop a leaf. Even whenever I was consistently watering it, and it never gave me not one single new leaf the whole time I had it, not one. It just kept dropping leaves because, you know, for alocasias, it's pretty typical for them to drop a leaf whenever they are putting out a new leaf. Not this guy. He never put out a new leaf ever at all until about a month or so ago. He finally, when he was down to his last 2 or 3 leaves, he finally put this little leaf off right here. No idea. So yeah, and I've lost all of the leaves except these 2. This one is, as you can see, is damaged, so it's probably gonna go pretty soon. But I did go ahead and repot this honestly a few days ago, and I put it in that arrowing mix that I made, and I put it in a plastic nursery pot. So I'm hoping that maybe it'll give me a new leaf and kind of just start itself over. I'm really hoping my Alocasia don't go dormant for the winter, but that is a big possibility. So anyway, I found that giant Alocasia amazonica at Lowe's. It was very cheap, very healthy and beautiful, so I went ahead and picked it up a few weeks ago, and I wasn't fooling around. I left it in the pot that it came in. There's not really any perlite in the soil that it came in, but it was very happy, so I just left it alone. It's in a plastic pot, and I put it over here in my southern exposed window, which gets filtered but direct sun, if that makes sense. And yeah, I'm just gonna let it get all the light it needs. I'm not putting it in a dark corner, and we'll see how it goes. So far so good, but it's still early. So anyway, yeah, this plant hates me. I've had a really difficult time with the Alocasia amazonica, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, this is number 1 on my struggling to survive plant list. Okay. So the next plant on this list is this sad guy, and this is a goldfish plant. Yeah, it's supposed to be a goldfish plant, and I don't know if you can see, but I actually have a rubber band like I cut it and tied all of the stems together, because literally you see how it's just kind of laying flat, like wah, wah. They would all be just laying completely down, and the stems would snap had I not done that. So I received this a while back over the summer in the mail, and whenever I got it, it was really sad just from shipping. It didn't handle shipping well at all, so it kind of had fainted and was very droopy, and it had lost some leaves. I was like, oh, no big deal. It'll bounce right back, whatever. Well, it hasn't. It was actually bigger than this whenever I got it, and it's lost so many leaves, several stems. Like, there's several stems in this pot that I've had to cut off because they were completely bare and dead. So yeah, this plant, I don't even know how it's still alive, honestly. I have almost thrown it away so many times, and then I'm like, it's still holding on, so I kind of just have to deal with it and give it a shot at life. But I don't know why. I found that I really struggle with the goldfish plant, obviously, and Dischidia, which, if you are aware, the Dischidia are basically like cousin to Hoya, and I do really good with Hoya, so I don't know why Dischidia is like so difficult for me. But I actually got a Dischidia in the mail. It was a cute little light green variety when I received this one, and I killed it. It's gone. I killed it right away. It lost all of its leaves, and I think I overwatered it, but I honestly just don't know. It hates me. And I do have a giant Dischidia hanging in a hanging basket back there that I got at a Lowe's. And whenever I brought it home, it was severely overwatered, and it was losing leaves left and right. It was constantly just dropping leaves down on the floor. I was having to go and pick them up and vacuum. And I'll just show you it really quick because I really was struggling with it for a long time. Yeah, so since I killed a Dischidia and I don't have it here to show you, I'll just show you this one. So this one, like I said, was very sickly. I didn't think it was going to make it, and I actually almost threw it out, but I didn't want to mess with it since I had already killed one. I didn't want to repot it or anything right now. So I just left it in here and I let it dry out. I have it hanging in a pretty sunny spot. I let it dry completely out. I didn't water this plant for like a month and a half. I'm not even kidding. That's how wet the soil was. And it threw a fit, lost a bunch of leaves, and then, I don't know, it just started doing better. And I noticed the leaves started to wrinkle, and I could tell it was very dry and it was needing a drink. So probably a week ago, I took it into my bathtub and I watered it really well. I took this pot cover off because, as you can see, it has like the drainage tray attached to it. I took that off when I watered it and I hung it up on my shower head, and I left it there for like overnight. Well, the whole day and night, and then I got it the next day. So I watered it really well, and I let all of that water drain out of the pot. And yeah, then I put the bottom back on, and it's been doing really well. I haven't lost any leaves since then, but I have a feeling if I repot it and mess with it too much that it's gonna start being dramatic again. But for some reason, these plants, they hate me. I don't know. So, yeah. Goldfish plant, no idea, guys. Hates me, hates my guts. Okay, so the next plant on my list is this guy, and this is seriously just a simple plant. It's a Dieffenbachia, or a dumb cane, and it hates my guts. I have three varieties of this plant. I have this one. I have like I don't even know what it's called, the regular green, thin-leafed with the white through it. I don't know, it's like the most common variety you see in like big box stores. And it's doing really well. I will say it's very, very thirsty. If I do not keep up with the watering on that plant, it'll lose a leaf, it'll drop a leaf. But it grows pretty good. It's always putting out new leaves, and I've been keeping on top of the watering with it, so it's been doing a lot better. But this one, so whenever I got this plant, if you can see, this leaf is pretty damaged and split. Well, it had a lot of leaves like this, so most of its larger leaves were damaged like this and ripped. And yeah, but I just thought it was really pretty, and the leaves feel very thick. This Dieffenbachia almost reminds me of like the banana plant, a banana tree, and the way that it grows, and just like the texture of those leaves. But so I brought it home, and I've lost so many leaves on this plant. It's crazy. So like this one looks like it's about to be turning yellow, and I'll have to cut it off. It has grown, like here's a new leaf right here, here's a new leaf right here. These were, these two top leaves I have came out since in my care, and they're fine, but I have just lost so many leaves. I feel like every couple of days when I'm checking on my plants, I have to cut a new leaf off. Like I have to cut another yellow leaf off. So I really don't know what I'm doing wrong. I had it in terracotta, and it too was drying out really fast, so I thought maybe that was the issue. So I repotted it into this ceramic pot, and it might be doing a little bit better, but I'm still having the same issues. And then I also have a little tiny baby Dieffenbachia reflector. It's very small, and it has its days. It dries out very fast as well, so basically if I let it dry out for too long, it starts turning yellow, it quits putting out new growth, and I lose the leaf. Right now I've been keeping on top of the watering, and it has 2 new leaves coming out. I don't know, but it doesn't look the best, so I just struggle with Dieffenbachia, I guess. And they're supposed to be really easy, so I don't know what the problem is. I guess they're just really thirsty, and I can't keep up with it. Okay, so this is another one of the plants, like the begonia pink flamingo that I showed you in my part 1. That is a love-hate relationship. I absolutely love the plant, but I really struggled with it for a while. And it's a lipstick plant, and this is the variegated lipstick plant that I did an unboxing for over the summer. So I got 4 different variegated starter plants, and I already had a Mona Lisa lipstick plant, a little small one, it was about this big, that I had gotten from Steve's Leaves in the spring, and I struggled so much with that plant, guys. Like, it just kept losing leaves, just like the Dischidia. So I find that what's been happening with my Dischidia and my Goldfish plant is the same kind of problems I've been having with my lipstick plants. So I ended up losing a ton of leaves on that Mona Lisa lipstick plant. So I potted it up in this pot with the variegated plants, and it just continued to die. I ended up losing all of the leaves, and then out of nowhere, if you guys can see, out of nowhere, this started coming up out of the pot. That is the Mona Lisa. That's not the variegated. So it died off, and now it's growing back. So that made me really happy, but I thought it was a goner. And then this is the variegated. So there's a lot of new growth on this plant now, but as I mentioned, I really struggled with it. I've had a lot of trouble with leaf drop. I've lost so many leaves, guys, and leaf curling. So that was a huge one. I will find some to show you because you can still see. So you see these leaves here on the end, how they're curled, which would typically mean under or over watering. But just a minute and I'll explain. You see this leaf? Yeah, so, and there's more. But I hung it over there in my south-facing window because before it wasn't really getting that much light, and I thought that was an issue. It's getting really good amount of light now, and I was only watering it when it dried out. Okay, so I knew I wasn't over watering it, so I decided to start watering it a little bit more frequently instead of letting it be dry for too long. Same issue, still losing leaves, still the leaf curling, like nothing I did worked. And I just got to the point where I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna rot it. I know this is, me watering it more was doing more damage than not watering it enough. So I just quit watering it altogether, and I went like 2 weeks without giving it a drink of water. And it started to look better. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I have just literally been waiting until a week and a half, 2 weeks before I give it any water, and whenever I do water it, I have not been just dumping water on the pot. I could actually bottom water this and it would probably really appreciate that, but I just kind of water it around the leaves in the soil without dumping water on top of the leaves and the stems because I don't think it likes that. And I haven't been like drenching it. I haven't been soaking it through. So I just put enough water in it to moisten the soil without it pouring out the bottom of the drainage hole. And it seems to be liking that. I have several new plants inside the pot. I don't think you can see very well. And then the tips have new growth. Look at the cute little variegated leaves. They almost look like a purplish when they're growing in. Like this one, they're like white and purple. So I am just really, really, really hoping that this beautiful plant, because I love it so much, will continue to do better and continue to grow, and hopefully I can see some blooms, because that would just be so awesome. I've heard they're pretty easy to get to bloom, so I was really excited to see those blooms, but it hasn't happened for me yet. So yeah, I've really struggled with both lipstick plants that I've had in my home, but I maybe or maybe not have figured out their care finally, and hopefully they make it. So yeah, the variegated lipstick plant. Okay, and then next, I don't even know why I still have this plant, guys. Like, I don't even like it. I'm sorry. Like, I know. I mean, you can see it's still in its nursery pot from Walmart in the same soil that it came in. And if you know me, you know that I repot all of my big box store plants pretty much right away. And I've had this since before spring even started, I think. Maybe not. Maybe I got it in the middle of spring. I'm not sure. But I've had it for like 6 months, and it is a Moon Valley Pylea. So basically, I can tell you what's wrong with this plant. Oh, look here, perfect. Wait, ew, that's a leaf. Basically, I just neglect this plant. And it still has new growth somehow, but the rest of it's like dying off, so I don't know. But I will go very long periods of time without watering it. I just kind of totally ignore it. It doesn't get very much sunlight, and it's just kind of pushed in a corner, in a very low light corner, and forgotten about because I just don't care for it that much. This is one of those plants that I don't really know why I got it. I think it was just because the texture, like it feels very rough and bumpy. It just feels very unique and different. And I didn't really think it was pretty, but I thought it was cool. And it was cheap, so I got it, and here we are. It won't die, but it won't really grow, and it's bloomed a couple times. It has the ugliest blooms I've ever seen in my life. The blooms are literally like these white, you know what it reminds me of? I don't even know what to compare it to, guys. It's just like these white, ugly, flaky blooms. Google it, Moon Valley Pylea blooms. They're so ugly. They drop everywhere and make a mess. I don't know. I just don't like this plant. So yeah, definitely struggling with this. Maybe I could make it happy if I really wanted to, but I'm just kind of waiting for it to die. I know that's terrible. Sorry. Sue me. I feel like everyone has those plants, right? Or is it just me? Okay, the last plant on my list, plants that I'm struggling with, is, believe it or not, my beautiful variegated Maranta. So I have the red variety of Maranta. I think it's called like Fascinator. Yeah, Fascinator. And it's doing very well. I got it when it was just a teeny tiny little baby. It wasn't even spilling out of the pot yet. And now it's just going crazy, growing so beautifully. It's actually right back there. Yeah, it's doing really well. And this one, oh, I don't know. So it kind of looks okay for right now, which it is, but before I decided I was going to do this video, I actually cut this plant so it had a lot more crispy tips. So like here, and I chopped all of the brown crispy bits off except for like a few places. But yeah, it had a lot going on. And I wish that I wouldn't have, but I didn't know that I was going to do this video. So yeah, its growth's kind of been stunted lately, and it's just been getting really crispy. Granted, I do have it I did have it a good ways away from the humidifier, and because my other Maranta has done wonderful away from the humidifier, so not this one. And I also had it in a pretty low light situation, which prayer plants and Marantas actually kind of prefer a little bit more filtered or lower light than brighter light. So I thought it would be fine. They thrive in lower light situations. Not this one. And I wasn't even thinking, because I mean, it is variegated, and obviously variegated plants are going to appreciate a little bit brighter light than non-variegated. So it could be a number of things. It could be the fact that I wasn't giving it enough light. It could be the fact that it was further away from a humidifier than it would prefer. And then also, I have a few of these white plastic pots, and most of my plants I can just look at and tell when they need watered, if not stick my finger in the soil. But with these plastic pots are different in ceramic, especially these ones. I don't know what it is, but the soil always looks, oh gosh, something in my eye. The soil always looks wet in these particular pots that I have, and it even feels kind of moist too. So here I am thinking this plant doesn't need watered for like weeks on end, and I actually a while back decided to use my moisture meter because I thought it was odd. I was like, I know it has to need watered, and it was drooping like crazy. So I used my moisture meter, and it was bone dry, and it still looked moist. I was like, oh my gosh. So I've been using my moisture meter on this plant. I hadn't been using it a whole lot, but there are still plants that I apparently need to be using it on. So it also could be the fact that it was drying out way too long. But yeah, it's just, it stopped growing completely for a little while. Now we do have more growth. I put it over there next to the humidifier. It's getting a little bit more light. And yeah, we have some new growth. So if you guys watched my propagation video, my Maranta propagation, I propagated this plant a while back, and here's the babies. I actually just took them out of water a few days ago and decided to pot them up because they had such long, awesome roots, and I really needed my propagation jars or vessels for more propagations, because I'm going to be doing a propagation video soon. I have several that I'm going to propagate. But this one's doing really good. I don't know. So this was on here whenever I cut it, I'm pretty sure. And like these ones. But otherwise it looks really good. And we've got quite a bit of new growth. Look at that, those little babies right there. They're so cute. Adorable. So, I don't know. The mama, I've struggled with quite a bit. The baby has been doing really good, living his best life in the water. So I'm hoping now that I transferred him to soil, he doesn't start acting like mama over here. But I have struggled with my variegated Maranta, y'all. Is this not the cutest thing you've ever seen though? So freaking cute. Okay. And that is all I have for you right now. I would have a couple more, but like I said, I killed them. Like my Dischidia, I think there was a couple more. I know there was a couple more that I murdered over the last couple months, but they're gone now. So yeah, these are the plants that do not like me at the moment. You win some, you lose some. We all kill plants. We all struggle with plants. So don't feel bad if you too are a plant killer, or if you have plants that other people might find really easy that just are very difficult for you, that you're struggling with, because I get it. But yeah, guys, if you guys have any care tips for any of these plants that I shared with you, feel free to let me know. I'll take any advice I can get on them. So yeah, leave me a comment, let me know. But that is it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!